Hello, my friend. Welcome back to English Conversation Zone. I'm Jake, and today I'm talking about essential English phrases you need for daily conversations. I'm really happy you're here with me today. Learning a new language takes time, and I want you to know that every small step you take is important. Today, we're going to learn phrases that English speakers use every single day. These are not fancy words or complex grammar. These are simple, natural phrases that will help you feel more confident when you speak English. Let me start with something very basic but very important. When you meet someone in the morning, what do you say? Most people say, "Good morning." That's perfect. But in everyday English, native speakers often make it even shorter. They just say morning without the good part. So if you hear someone say just morning to you, don't be confused. They're being friendly and casual. Now, pause here for a moment. Think about how you greet people in your language. Is it formal or casual? In English, we have both types. With friends and family, you can say hey or hi there. These are very casual and warm. With your boss or someone you don't know well, you might say hello or good morning. It's a little more polite. Let me tell you about a phrase that confuses many learners. People often ask, "How are you?" or "How's it going?" Now, here's something interesting. Most of the time, this is not a real question. It's just a friendly greeting. You don't need to tell the person about all your problems or your whole day. You can simply say, "Good, thanks," or "Pretty good, how about you?" That's it, simple and natural. Say it slowly with me now. Good, thanks, how about you? Feel how natural that sounds? This is what native speakers say hundreds of times every day. And notice I said, how about you, not and you? Both are correct, but how about you sounds more natural and friendly in casual conversation. Let's talk about another important phrase for daily life. Imagine you're in a store and you can't find something. Maybe you're looking for milk or bread or soap. What do you say? You can say, "Excuse me, where can I find the milk?" The words "excuse me" are so important. They're polite. They get someone's attention in a nice way. Take a moment and practice this. Think of something you buy often. Now say, "Excuse me, where can I find," and add your item. For example, "Excuse me, where can I find the bread?" Say it out loud. Don't be shy. Speaking out loud, even when you're alone, helps your brain remember. Now, sometimes in conversation, you don't understand what someone says. This is completely normal. Even native speakers sometimes don't hear clearly. So what do you say? You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" This is polite and clear. Or you can say, "I didn't catch that." The word catch here means to hear or understand. So "I didn't catch that" means I didn't hear that clearly. Let me explain another useful phrase. If someone speaks too fast, you can say, "Could you speak more slowly, please?" Don't feel embarrassed to ask this. Good communication means both people understand each other. Most people are happy to slow down when you ask politely. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I had to ask people to slow down all the time. It's part of learning, and it's completely okay. You're doing well by learning these phrases. Let's move to asking for help. In daily life, we all need help sometimes. Maybe you need directions. Maybe you need someone to explain something. The key phrase is, "Could you help me with something?" This is polite and friendly. Or you can say, "Can you help me?" which is a bit more casual but still perfectly fine. Imagine this situation. You're walking in a new city and you need to find the train station. You see someone on the street. You say, "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the train station?" Let's break this down. First, you say, "Excuse me," to get attention politely. Then you ask your question clearly. The phrase "how to get to" means what is the way to or which direction to. This is very common for asking directions. Say it with me slowly. "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the train station?" Good. Now practice with a different place, maybe the library or the post office or the nearest coffee shop. Speaking these phrases out loud helps them become natural for you. Now I want to teach you about small talk. Small talk means light, friendly conversation about simple topics. Many English learners find small talk difficult because it seems unnecessary, but small talk is very important in English-speaking cultures. It helps people feel comfortable with each other. The most common small talk topic is weather. Yes, English speakers love talking about weather. You might hear something like, "Nice weather today, isn't it?" Or, "It's pretty cold out there." You don't need to have a long conversation about the weather. You can just agree and say, "Yes, it's beautiful," or "Yeah, really cold." That's enough. Another good small talk topic is weekend plans. Someone might ask you, "Any plans for the weekend?" You can answer simply. Maybe you say, "Not much, just relaxing at home," or "I'm meeting some friends for lunch." Then, and this is important, you ask them back. You say, "How about you?" or "What about you?" This keeps the conversation going in a friendly way. Think about this for a moment. Small talk is like a social warm-up. It's like stretching before exercise. It helps people feel comfortable before they have deeper conversations. So don't worry if small talk feels a bit strange at first. With practice, it becomes easier and more natural. Let me teach you about leaving a conversation politely. You can't just walk away when you're talking to someone, right? You need to end the conversation in a nice way. You can say, "Well, I should get going," or "I need to head out." The phrase "head out" is very common. It means to leave or to go somewhere. Another polite way to end a conversation is to say, "It was nice talking to you," or "It was great seeing you." Then you can add, "Take care," or "See you later." These phrases are warm and friendly. They show that you enjoyed the conversation. Let's practice this. Imagine you're talking to a neighbor and you need to leave. Say it slowly. "Well, I should get going. It was nice talking to you. Take care." See how natural that sounds? You're giving a reason to leave, being polite, and ending warmly. Now I want to talk about making plans with people. This is something you'll do often in daily life. If you want to invite someone to do something, you can say, "Would you like to get coffee sometime?" The phrase "would you like to" is polite and friendly. It's asking if they're interested. You can also say, "Do you want to?" which is more casual. For example, "Do you want to see a movie this weekend?" Both ways are correct. Choose based on your relationship with the person. With friends, "Do you want to" is perfect. With someone you don't know well, "Would you like to" sounds more polite.
What if someone invites you but you can't go? You need to decline politely. You can say, "I'd love to, but I'm busy that day." Or, "Thanks for asking, but I have other plans." The key is to sound grateful for the invitation even if you can't accept it. This shows good manners and keeps the friendship strong. Take a moment here and think about your own life. How do you make plans with friends in your language? The idea is similar in English, but the phrases are what we're learning today. These phrases help you sound natural and confident. Let me teach you about expressing opinions. In conversations, people often share what they think about things. A simple way to share your opinion is to say, "I think." For example, "I think that movie was really good," or "I think the weather will be nice tomorrow." This is clear and simple. If you want to sound a bit more thoughtful, you can say, "In my opinion," or "From my perspective." These phrases show that you're giving your personal view. For example, "In my opinion, learning English takes a lot of practice." See how that works? Now, what about disagreeing with someone? This needs to be done carefully and politely. You don't want to sound rude. A good way is to say, "I see what you mean, but," and then give your different opinion. This shows you listened to them, but you have a different view. For example, "I see what you mean, but I think we should try a different approach." Say it with me slowly. "I see what you mean, but I think differently." Good. This phrase is very useful because it keeps conversations respectful. Learning takes time, and you're doing really well. Let's talk about agreeing with someone. When someone says something and you agree, you can say, "I completely agree," or "That's exactly what I think," or even just "absolutely." These words show strong agreement. In casual conversation, you might just say, "Yeah, for sure," or "Definitely." These are all natural and common. I want to teach you about apologizing. Everyone makes mistakes, and it's important to know how to apologize in English. For small mistakes, you can simply say, sorry, or my bad. The phrase my bad means that was my mistake. You'd use this with friends. For more serious situations, you say, I'm really sorry, or I apologize. Then you can explain what happened. For example, I'm really sorry I'm late. The traffic was terrible. Giving a brief reason shows you're being honest and taking responsibility. And when someone apologizes to you, how do you respond? You can say, no problem, or don't worry about it, or it's okay. These phrases show that you're not upset and you accept their apology. Another common phrase is no worries. This is very casual and friendly. Pause here and think about a time you needed to apologize. In your language, how did you do it? Now you know how to do it in English. Practice saying I'm sorry and no problem out loud. These simple phrases are so important for daily life. Let me talk about thanking people. Of course, you know thank you and thanks, but there are other ways to express gratitude that sound more natural in different situations. You can say, thanks so much when someone helps you with something important, or I really appreciate it when someone goes out of their way for you. If someone does something very kind, you might say, that's very kind of you, or you're so helpful. These phrases add warmth to a simple thank you. And when someone thanks you, you respond with, you're welcome, or no problem, or my pleasure. All of these are polite and natural. Now, let's talk about a very practical situation, ordering food at a restaurant. When you walk into a restaurant, someone might ask, how many in your party? This means how many people are with you. You answer with a number, like just 2 or 4 people, please. When you're ready to order, the server will ask, what can I get for you? Or, are you ready to order? You say, yes, I'll have the chicken sandwich, please. Or, could I get the pasta? Notice the word please. It's not always necessary, but it makes you sound polite. What if you need more time to look at the menu? Just say, could we have a few more minutes, please? Or, we need a little more time. This is perfectly normal. Don't feel rushed. Take your time to decide what you want. If you want to ask about a dish, you say, what's in this salad? Or, is this dish spicy? The server is there to help you, so don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you want something without a certain ingredient, you say, could I get that without onions, please? Most restaurants are happy to make small changes. When you finish eating and want to pay, you get the server's attention and say, could we get the check, please? In British English, they say bill instead of check, but most people understand both. So you might hear, could we get the bill, please? Both are correct. Let me tell you about talking on the phone in English. This can be scary for learners because you can't see the person's face or body language. But don't worry, I'll teach you the key phrases. When you answer the phone, you simply say, hello. If it's a work call, you might say, hello, this is Jake speaking. If you're calling someone, you say, hi, this is Jake. May I speak with Maria, please? This is polite and clear. If you're calling a friend, you can be more casual and say, hey, is Tom there? The level of formality depends on who you're calling. Sometimes you call the wrong number by mistake. If this happens, just say, oh, sorry, I think I have the wrong number, and hang up politely. This happens to everyone, so don't feel embarrassed. Now let's talk about leaving a voicemail message. If someone doesn't answer, you'll hear their voicemail. You say, hi, this is Jake. I'm calling about, and explain briefly why you called. Then say, please call me back when you get a chance. Thanks. Keep it short and clear. To end a phone call, you can say, well, I won't keep you any longer, or I should let you go. These phrases are polite because they sound like you're being considerate of the other person's time. Then you say, talk to you soon, or take care, and say goodbye. Let me teach you about asking for clarification. Sometimes in conversation, you're not completely sure you understood something correctly. It's always better to ask than to pretend you understood. You can say, just to make sure I understand, you mean, and then repeat what you think they said. Another way is to say, so what you're saying is, and then summarize their point.
This gives them a chance to correct you if you misunderstood. Good communication is about making sure both people understand each other clearly. If someone uses a word you don't know, don't be shy. Ask them. Say, "Sorry, what does that word mean?" Or, "Could you explain what you mean by that?" Most people are happy to explain. Asking questions shows you're interested and want to understand. Think about this. Even native speakers ask for clarification sometimes. It's a normal part of conversation. So never feel bad about asking someone to explain something again. You're learning, and learning takes time. You're doing really well. Now, I want to talk about making excuses when something goes wrong. Imagine you're late for a meeting. When you arrive, you say, "I'm so sorry I'm late. The bus was delayed." You apologize first, then give a brief explanation. Keep it short and honest. Common excuses include, "The traffic was terrible," "My alarm didn't go off," or "I lost track of time." These are honest reasons that people understand. The key is to apologize sincerely and not make excuses too often. If you're always late, people will stop believing your reasons. Let me talk about interrupting politely. Sometimes in a conversation, you need to add something or ask a question. You can't just start talking over someone. That's rude. Instead, you say, "Sorry to interrupt, but," or, "Excuse me, can I just say something quickly?" This shows respect for the person who's speaking. They'll usually pause and let you speak. After you say what you need to say, you can add, "Sorry, please continue," to give them back the conversation. This is polite and considerate. Now, let's talk about offering help to someone. If you see someone struggling or looking confused, you can offer help. You say, "Do you need any help?" Or, "Can I help you with something?" This is kind and friendly. Most people appreciate when someone offers to help. If you're in a work setting, you might say, "Is there anything I can do to help?" Or, "Let me know if you need assistance." These phrases show you're a team player and willing to support others. Offering help is a great way to build good relationships. I want to remind you of something important. All of these phrases we're learning today are used by native English speakers every single day. These aren't special phrases for learners. These are real, natural English. When you use them, you'll sound confident and fluent. Take a moment now and think about which phrases are most useful for your daily life. Maybe you need restaurant phrases because you eat out often. Maybe you need workplace phrases. Focus on what you'll actually use. Practice those phrases more than others. Remember, learning a language is not about memorizing everything perfectly. It's about communicating and being understood. If you make a small grammar mistake but people understand you, that's success. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be patient with your learning journey. Let me share something personal with you. When I was learning other languages, I felt nervous every time I had to speak. But you know what helped me? Just trying. Just speaking even when I made mistakes. Every conversation taught me something new. You can do the same thing. Practice these phrases out loud. Say them when you're alone. Imagine conversations in your head. This mental practice really helps. When the real situation comes, your brain will remember, and the phrases will come more naturally. I hope today's lesson has been helpful for you, my friend. These essential phrases are your tools for daily English conversations. Use them confidently. You've learned greetings, making plans, asking for help, expressing opinions, apologizing, thanking people, and so much more. Keep practicing every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Speak English whenever you can. Watch English movies or shows and listen for these phrases. You'll start noticing them everywhere, and each time you hear them, they become more familiar and natural to you. Thank you so much for learning with me today. I'm proud of you for taking the time to improve your English. You're doing great, and I believe in you. Keep going, stay patient with yourself, and remember that every small step forward is progress. Until next time, take care, my friend.